Well, I'm back at the boat. I went and bought a oil filter, and I already got the oil here. I'm gonna have Castrol 2050 or 1030, one of the two, 5-quart jugs. So one for each engine. So obviously, haven't gotten anything done on the other engine. I don't want to run it. I'm gonna have a mechanic look at it, and the mechanic is gonna tell me once and for all if the rings need to be replaced on the pistons. And that's why I haven't done anything about taking it apart. I know the head's got to come off. So I said, in the meantime, I want to come down and check it out. It's been a few rainstorms going by, and I'm going to stay here overnight. It's almost 5, so I'm not going to do anything now. But the plan is to run the engine on the port side, let it warm up, let the oil get nice and loose, and then I'm going to pump it out, replace the oil, and replace the filter. And that engine will be good to go. So I went to a bar, had a drink and a few things to munch on. It wasn't really dinner. And now I'm going to top it off with one of my favorites, Bolivar cigar. And this is a very flavorful, very aromatic cigar. It's a little bit on the long side. I think this is 8 inches, I guess. And it's very soft because I left it out of my box out here, and obviously it's surrounded with humidity. So it's nice and soft. And I'm going to kick back a little bit. And also, there's an issue with one of the shift cables. It's kind of stiff. I put some of that oil in it, but I don't think it went in. So we're gonna do a test first. We're gonna disconnect it from the gearbox. See if it's not the gearbox having the problem instead of the cable. So once it's disconnected, I'm gonna go up and click it. See if it's smooth. Then it's not the cable. Something to do with the gearbox. If it's not the gearbox, it's the cable. And then I'm going to have this guy take it out when he has a chance. He's going to measure it out, tell me how long it is, because we don't know. And then I'm going to go online and buy it, because those have to click back and forth easy. This is basically, you have to hammer it and hit it. And you don't want to do that because it might get stuck in gear, come back and hit a boat when you're backing out or something. So I want to be looking into that while I'm here. And that's it for now. The mechanic hasn't really, I text him, say I'm going to be on the boat. I'm going to stay here overnight. So I said, I'm going to be on the boat today and tomorrow. If you want to come by, let me know. But he hasn't answered me because he's really busy. I guess with the rainstorm, he's behind schedule. There's another rain coming in 3 days, so I gotta get something done over here. And I'm also planning on drilling the holes so I can install this for the anchor. So that's going to be behind the anchor. I'm going to have a little rope here with a little dog clicker thing, I don't know what you call those, and attach it to the chain, secures it, because right now it's just kind of hanging there. And I'm also considering replacing the windlass with a more modern forward and reverse windlass, but that's far in the future. I gotta see about the engine first. If the engine's gonna have to be removed, then the windlass is gonna have to wait a long time. I just gotta see what's gonna happen with the engine, and then we'll go from there. I need the diagnostic by a professional. I am not a mechanic, I'm an architect. So I know my craft, he knows his. I'm gonna ask him, make sure that the engine, I know I need to replace the heads, but what about the pistons? I wanna make sure before I take it apart. If the pistons are good and it's burning a little bit of oil, it's not a big deal. The engines only have 560 odd hours. I don't think that's that far along to say we need to replace and rebuild the engine. The engines usually last 1,000 to 1,500 hours, depending on your use and abuse. So I want to see if he can do the complete diagnostic, and then I'll make a decision. If we do need to replace the rings, I keep saying rims, on the pistons, then I'm gonna say, okay, let's take it apart and let's see how we're gonna get that out. And to get it out, the best way is to turn the boat around and let it sit on this side with the crane. It has an extension, I believe, and you could just crank it up with a chain, take it out, roll it out, and take it to a shop. It has to be disconnected from the tranny, from the shaft, everything. Not the shaft, the tranny. Take all the hoses and, just take it apart. That's why I'm kind of waiting for the mechanic so he can make the final decision, and then we'll go from there. If the problem is only the heads and the rings are in good condition and they have good compression, it's going to stay the way it is. Like the saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So right now, it still runs. It runs steady. I know the heads need to be replaced. I want to have a final determination or a final investigation on the pistons. Make sure that they're okay. There's compression. If I'm having bad compression on one or two, then I have to pull it because it needs to have power. And I'm also looking into, just out of the blue, I was thinking about, those props are kind of small. They're 14-inch. Maybe I could go to 15.5. So I got to talk to the diver, see if he can measure to verify the size and measure the end of the blade to the bottom of the boat and see how much gap I got there, so I have something bigger that I can put in. It's not going to hit it. And then find out how much a bigger prop's going to cost. Everything. So yeah, there's a lot on the works. Boy, this is one smooth cigar. It's a little bit on the long side. Maybe I should cut it. This is going to be a 3-hour cigar. I think I'm going to cut it. Cut it down to half. All right, guys. I'll see you later. Well, when it rains, it pours. Came down here to change the filters and change the oil on the engines. And my freaking pump motor stopped working, so it wasn't sucking. So I'm gonna see if I can take the motor home and find the probably look at the impeller. The impeller probably busted. So basically we didn't get nothing done. And then the other engine doesn't want to start. So I already got a hold of a couple of mechanics, see who's gonna answer, to come and give me a diagnostic, because the engine hardly starts and it sputters and it dies. So they got to check everything, and I want to do an evaluation to find out what exactly is wrong. Is it the timing? Is it the spark? Is it the distributor? Is it the pistons? No pressure? I got to find out for sure. All right, so that's it for today. It's a short visit. I stayed overnight, but I gotta get back to the house. I was gonna do a couple of miscellaneous, but that could wait. There's another rainstorm coming. So my head is in the engine. Nothing. Don't feel like doing anything else. I have a post here that I have to replace. I've had this thing for a year sitting here. That's for the anchor rope. This thing, got to replace that, and it's sitting here, and it's gonna sit here for a longer period, because I got to remove the air conditioning to get to the bottom and unscrew the nuts, and then hit them with a hammer. And you know, it's a half a day thing. You don't do it that easy. Then I have to seal, put around when I put the new one, I got to put a bead of caulking underneath, and then squish it down, tighten it down, put the air conditioning. So yeah, it's, and I got a roofer going to the house today to get his balance from the job he did. He roofed two properties for me, so I gotta pay him for that. So I gotta be back within 2 hours. So there's not that much I could do here today. All right, guys, I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.